I'm gonna show you all what I'm doing so it makes more sense than what I just said. Because what I just said, I don't know if that makes sense. This is Chastity Elise. I am back for another video. I am doing a lot of videos right now. I'm trying to get as many videos done as I can. So this one is going to be more or less like a Michaels / arts and crafts type video. So I mentioned, I think in one of my other videos, I mentioned about doing like maybe some little arts and crafts stuff with you all. So since it's fall officially, I want a fall wreath. Like I have a wreath out there that's on my door now, and it's not anything special. It's not really anything that would be indicative of like fall or winter. It's not really, you know, it's not really one that you can look at and you can say, oh, it's fall, or oh, it's winter, oh, it's spring. It's not really a wreath that you can say it's a seasonal one. So you can't really tell the seasons just based on looking at the wreath that's on my door now. And then, like, you know, sometimes you want things that you have made yourself. So anyway, we're gonna get into this video. I got a couple of things I have to open before we can actually get started. So I am not actually gonna start working on the wreath today, but I'm just gonna show you all just like my basic materials that we're gonna be working with. I might decide to add like some ribbons or something like that to what I have currently, but I don't really know until sometimes you don't actually know what you want to add until you start working on it, and then you're like, oh, you know what, it could use a little sprucing up, it could use a little bit more color, maybe just specks of color here and there, so maybe like small piece of ribbon, or maybe it could use just some random decorations of like leaves or something like that. So anyway, these are like the very basic things that I got to start working on my wreath. So I'm gonna start out just because I can tell with what is kind of, I have an idea of what's what. So I'm gonna start with the very basic of things for any wreath, and that is gonna be your frame. So they have where you can buy styrofoam, just like, you know, you see like the flat styrofoam shaped rings. You can use that as your wreath, as a base for it. I know I did one for Christmas year before last, and I just did like some little red, green, and white pom-poms on it. I didn't use the right glue, so they didn't, most of them are still stuck to the wreath, but a lot of them came off as well. So you just have to be aware of the material that you're using and what you're trying to glue it to. Because obviously with styrofoam, you don't really want to use, for example, a hot glue gun, just because the hot glue can melt your styrofoam. So that's something that you for sure want to be careful about. It smells like Clorox, but it's because I did spray the bag with Clorox. So all right, so this is the very basic of basic things that I could have. So this is just my frame, and it's a wire wreath, and I'm always like iffy when I'm buying these, because I'm like, I don't know what size is what, and I don't really feel like getting out measuring tape or anything like that to figure out what the size is. But this to me is like a relatively good size. It's not too large, but it's not so small that you can't see it hanging on the door. So moving on, we got that. You can get a wire like that, or you can get the styrofoam like I just mentioned. We got burlap. So for me, okay. Yeah, so more or less this is like burlap wrap that I'm gonna be using. So in my opinion, burlap, literally you could probably use this for every season. It just depends on what you pair it with. So like you could do this, and you could do like some really light colored flowers, and that could be for like spring. You could do like some pink, orange, yellow flowers to go along with this burlap ribbon or this burlap wrap, and you're good. you know, that's like perfect for spring. It's good for summer as well. Or if you want to do winter, you could do this, and then you could do like some little red and white decorations with it, or you could do like green and red decorations with it. I'm more so leaning towards maybe doing like red and white, or if you want to, you could do blue and white, blue, white, and silver. So you have a lot of options with burlap. It's neutral, so it's not like anything that would necessarily be indicative of any specific season. But anyway, I picked this because I feel like it's perfect for fall. All right, so the other thing that I'm gonna use is pipe cleaners. So I don't expect anybody to see the pipe cleaners with this wreath, because the way that I'm gonna make it, you shouldn't see these. So honestly, in my opinion, you can truthfully use any color of pipe cleaner that you want. Or like if you use, because you can use burlap, you can make wreaths using mesh, you can use all types of materials literally to make wreaths. So it doesn't have to be any set kind of material. Like I said, I mentioned about pom-poms. I use pom-poms to make my entire wreath one time. So literally you can use any medium that you want to create a wreath. There are literally like no limits to art, period. So you can make it however you want to. So moving on, other thing I got is glue sticks. You honestly can't really make a wreath without glue sticks in some form or fashion. Hopefully, because I don't always mess up, but a lot of times I do. Like, you know, with the glue sticks, you have to figure out the right size for your glue gun. You know how I mentioned about you can use flowers with burlap, and that can be an indication of the season. This is just really to start out. So I got these flowers right here because they're really fall-like if you look at them. You know, you got your bright orange, you got your red, you got your yellow. So it looks very fall-like. So I'm definitely gonna be using these to make my wreath as well. So right now, just a recap of the items that we have to make this wreath. We've got our wire frame. We have our burlap ribbon or burlap wrap. I got 4 of these. Sometimes you might need more. You don't really know until you start working. That's happened to me where I've done a mesh wreath and I started out using the mesh, and then it got to a certain point and it's like, well, obviously what I have is not gonna work. I'm gonna need more. So I might need more, but for right now I only have 4 of these. I got pipe cleaners. We got glue sticks for the glue gun, and we have fall flowers. So that is everything that we have right now. Now, as we make it, I might decide to add something else to it, because I kind of wanted to add ribbon to this, and I saw some cute ribbon on Amazon, but I'm like, I don't want to buy a whole pack of ribbon just so I can get one and use one out of the pack. So I'm gonna see, like, once I start working on it and see how things look, and maybe I won't need it, or maybe I'll decide to use some other type, some other pattern or some other color, and I might not even go with that ribbon at all. But that is it for right now. I'm gonna get started, and well, I'll say this. So when I get started on this wreath, I will show you all kind of like how it looks as I'm going through the process, and just take pictures, maybe like as I'm making progress on this. I might do, maybe as I'm finishing up, like I know I'm getting to the very end of it, I'll kind of give you all a glimpse at what I'm doing or what I did. Sometimes, like, I start out a certain way and then I change direction a little bit. So I just want to make sure that whatever I end up showing you all is like legit the process that I've settled on using. So granted, it's really not much to the process that you use to make it. It's been a minute since I've done a wire wreath. If I remember correctly, it was like you would kind of wrap the ribbon around here, and then you put a pipe cleaner, and then you scrunch it up, and then you put a pipe cleaner around it. So I think that's the process. But I feel like with things like this, it's better to show you than to tell you. So I'm not really gonna try to go in any further detail on it because I'm gonna show you all what I'm doing. So it makes more sense than what I just said. Because what I just said, I don't know if that makes sense. I will see you all later. Deuces. Anyway, I will see you all later. Thank you all again for watching.